Friends, how are you doing? It is an exciting time. I hope everyone is well. I really do mean that. I hope your bills are paid, your children are fed, you're fed, everyone's having a good time, good night, good day, wherever you're at. Listen, let's talk about some stocks. I'm not going to talk long. My voice is going again. Yeah, my mouth so much, my voice cannot just keep up here. So let's do bullet point video here. Maybe I can keep this a short one and not go too far here. And let's just go into it. So obviously, yesterday, Fed's talk, they talked about rate cuts. Jerome said, hey, we're not going to do rate cuts right now. We'll talk again here soon, blah, blah, blah. News we already knew. Now, going into Palantir, I just talked about Palantir last night, but I do want to tell people, listen, Palantir's, it's pricing in that it's going to do good on these quarterlies over here, okay? That's what it's doing. So right now, Palantir is well into this $80 position. Now, obviously, if Palantir comes out Monday, February 3rd here, with these quarterlies that should be banging, they could be the biggest yet that we've ever seen. Every time Palantir's been coming out with a quarterly, it's the biggest one we've ever seen. But this one could be even bigger than the last one, which would be, it would be crazy. We'll definitely see Palantir solidify this $70 to $80 price target. And then on top of that, once we get, further in the year here, there's no doubt that Palantir will do what Palantir does. It will continue probably to pick up more deals. You'll see more interviews from Alex Karp. And then on top of that, you'll start to see it chip away at well into this $80, $90, and we'll start talking about $100 here for Palantir. That's if they nail these quarterlies, which I suspect they more than likely they should. From all the breadcrumbs that we've had here so far, we should see at least just good quarterlies. But a lot of us think that they're going to nail these quarterlies, and this might be the trajectory for most of the year. And obviously, a lot of that too will come out of Q1 of 2025, but we're a ways off from that conversation. So yeah, Palantir, still a solid investment, solid investment. I'm not selling anything at Palantir. I think it's not even done cooking yet here, okay? We can't even eat the meat off the bone here because it's still cooking. There's so much going on here with Palantir still. It would be ludicrous to take it out of the oven at this point. And too, with Trump coming out and saying, hey, we're going to put $500 billion in AI systems, there's no doubt a lot of that is going to go in military contracts for AI. And guess who already has a lot of military contracts with AI? Palantir. So that more than likely will continue well into 2025 on top of their already deals from 23, 24. So it's just going to be a progression here, 100%. Now, like I said, talking about moving on here to Big Bear. I didn't want to talk about Palantirs too much because I've already talked about it, but there is this interesting thing going on here with Big Bear, okay? Obviously, my spiel with Big Bear. It's a wild card this year. Now, there is a situation when you look at the chart with Big Bear, here's what we're seeing. We're seeing a buildup happen. We're seeing a staircase being formed here. Now, how reliable this staircase is, it's hard to say at this moment because it hasn't been around for too long, okay? Now, Big Bear obviously has had some really big news. It's had some great things happen in the last 3 months. It got that, almost $200 million government contract that's going to last, for a handful of years here. You can read it right there. They've got earnings coming up in March. And now they have Kevin, their new CEO. Kevin was already with the company, but Kevin is now their CEO. And what do we know about Kevin? Kevin has a relationship with the Trump administration, with Trump. We know they know each other. We know they have somewhat of a relationship. So Big Bear already being in this business now of, government contracts, and what I just said about Palantir, well, that could somewhat slowly trickle into Big Bear. Who knows? But it's an interesting situation right now with Big Bear. But like I said about this staircase, you've got this, starting just 2 months ago, you got this first big push into $2.50. Then we got the sell-off, little bump. Then we got that other huge bump. Now we're into $4 here. We went for, $3. Now we're in like almost $5 range. Played there for a moment. Then we had a huge sell-off. Now we're back to this little mid-grade pump up here at around like $3.80. $4 on a good day there just a few moments ago. Now we're back down to in this $3 range today, back into a $4 range. And now we could be in a situation where we're going into maybe a high $4 range, breaking into $5. It's very possible right now with what's going on. People like Big Bear, okay? So And this has been my thought process with Big Bear. This is why I started buying this, a few months ago when it was at $2, maybe under $2 at that point. And I came public, and I didn't want to really come public with Big Bear because it was such a risky investment, but I started talking about it. And that's why every time I've talked about Big Bear, I've said like, hey, whoa, you need to understand, this is not a guaranteed like make you rich quick situation. Big Bear's got a lot of debt. Big Bear has not hit quarterlies. Big Bear's had a lot of trouble, okay? But there's things that are starting to cook up here, okay? In that, my biggest hope this year with Big Bear is that we'll hear from their new CEO, Kevin, a lot more. We'll hear from Kevin, his ideas, what he thinks about Big Bear, where they're wanting to take it. It'll get people pumped, hyped. That's good. That's real good. We'll see them start to pay off some debt, get some more government contracts, or just big deals in general, in that they can maintain a $5, maybe ending the year here in 2025 at a $7 to $8 range. That's a lot. That's a lot. I know that's a lot for where we're at right now. Market cap, what they're bringing in. That's a lot. That's a lot. But I'm pricing in hype too with that situation. So Big Bear right now is not showing signs of like we're going back down to like a dollar range. Now, Big Bear could catch a bad market slide here and sell back down to like, $2, $2 and, some change. But it's interesting because even when that DeepSeek situation came out here and it crashed the market, AI market especially, the first thing I looked at was Big Bear because I wanted to see how it was reacting. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad, the sell-off we saw with Big Bear at that moment. So it told me like, okay, well, Big Bear survived that little bit of, atomic bomb that just went off in the market here. So, it went back down, $3, but it was only $2.98 there. But it's recovered quite a bit here. So I'm kind of proud of it. It made me feel like, okay, if it can survive that, we're doing pretty good, because that was a huge upset for the market, especially the AI market there when that DeepSeek information just came out here, just a moment ago here. So Big Bear is starting to trickle back up here, and the market's going to start to trickle back up slowly here. And don't forget, regardless what happens here in February, we'll see. Trump's got the State of the Union coming up here early into March, like March 4th, 5th, somewhere around there. There's no doubt that Trump's going to talk about this $500 billion deal that he's doing with AI. There's no doubt that he's going to talk about AI and the future of it, and he's going to talk about the stock market. He's going to pump it up. He's going to talk about crypto. He's going to talk for a long time, and he's going to pump up everything. And that's just what Trump does, okay? So for you as an investor, that's good. That's good. So we could see a lot of our AI stocks, especially these small cap ones here, like Big Bear, really have a lot of push from that, okay? So, I'm happy with where Big Bear is at the moment. I really am. I'm glad I took the dive and I jumped in around $2. And Big Bear now is, it's looking for a new number. It's looking for a $5 position. And I think it might find it. It might find it here, especially leading into March. Now, the question is Big Bear going to hit these quarterlies here in March? I don't know. I really don't know. They have this big deal here, but, is it enough to really sustain, Big Bear, hitting, $40 million, in a quarterly, something like that, $20 million. What all are we expecting here with what that quarterly is going to bring? Is it going to meet expectation? Is it going to, even come close? Maybe they'll beat it. So, if we live in a world in a month and a few days here where Big Bear meets quarterlies, beats quarterlies, this is going to be a game changer. It's going to be like, okay, a lot of people are going to be paying attention here, and Big Bear undoubtedly is going to keep this $4 to $5 zone, and it could be in a $6 to $7 zone at that point. So there's a lot of what ifs, but very exciting what ifs. It's a wild card. It's a wild card right now. Most people like this. Big Bear is not a stock that I would tell like a personal friend or, someone looking for, a solid investment in the market. I would never tell them about Big Bear because it's a little bit of a dangerous investment right now. It really is. And I'm an investor in it, but like I said, it's a wild card. It's my wild card of 2025 where I'm just like, I'm taking a risk. I'm hoping that the company will have some turnaround here and we start to see something happen. So hopefully people understand what I'm trying to say there. I'm not trying to scare people away, but I want you to be knowing what's going on here. Okay, so that's Big Bear. Moving on to SoundHound here, and I've talked about SoundHound quite a bit. So, SoundHound is in this situation right now where SoundHound is waiting for these next quarterlies to come out to really show how good it did here in 2024. In SoundHound, regardless, whatever these quarterlies are, SoundHound had a good year, okay? The question is, and SoundHound more than likely is going to have a good Q1 into 2025 here because we've seen all these deals show up here like the last few months of 2024 here. The question is, can SoundHound have a big enough quarterly to wrap up 2024, the Q4 that comes out here soon, to where it solidifies SoundHound keeping this $10 to $15 range, okay? $17 on a good day because SoundHound has no problem going from $13 to $17, just in like a spike like that. Now, obviously, a lot of people are worried. The joke right here is that, Jim Cramer is saying that SoundHound is a meme stock and you should not, essentially he's saying you should not put your money in it. Now, obviously, the joke around Jim Cramer is, and I like Jim Cramer, I'm not saying anything bad about Jim, I like Jim, I like his show, all that kind of stuff, Mad Money, whatever it is, I like Jim, but Jim does have a reputation when he says stocks are going to do poorly or bad, they usually do pretty good, and I think there is a lot of people that they just put their money in things because, Jim, speaks against it. I swear there's something like that going on, but anyway, listen, I love SoundHound. I've been here with SoundHound since, $3-4. And, what I would love to see with Big Bear, we've had with SoundHound, and what SoundHound, the next stages with SoundHound that I would love to see here in 2025 is that it keeps getting nice deals here, that it has a CEO that starts to talk more. I would like to see their CEO talk more. And just for them to continue on a good path of just simply hitting quarterlies. That's really what I think a lot of us would like at this moment, for them just to keep making money, get into this progression of just they just keep making solid quarterlies, okay? I think that's what a lot of us need and want right now. So friends, like I said, it's a short video. I'm losing my voice again. God almighty, I gotta get this cold is just like it's gone, but I've just like got this crap lingering in me here. So I'm gonna go drink some tea, and I will talk to you soon. I wish all of you the best of luck. I really do mean that. Tomorrow's Friday. We'll see how this market closes out here. It might be a banger of a day. I think, here. So yeah, take care, friends. Bye-bye.